Hello and welcome to the One Life Church devotional series where we cover the entire Bible in 20 months. Well, today's chapters are Isaiah 25 and 26. Now, the time of this recording is a Saturday afternoon. I'm here at the Western Province Stadium, this great 2020 venue, and the Stormers are about to play against Ulster in the semi-finals. And there's going to be a lot of singing, a lot of shouting going on here, and so it's a very appropriate place to talk about worship, because worship of some kind is going to happen here in a few moments. Chapter 25 of Isaiah starts like this: exalt and praise the name of the Lord, because he's destroyed his enemies, and now his enemies will revere his name. In addition to that, the refuge take poor in you. And then he begins to talk about this great marriage supper of the Lamb that is going to take place, and he's calling all to worship, all to praise him. Well, I'm in the stadium now, and there's a lot of food and drink going on here. The main teams are down in the field. But this is what it says in chapter 25. There will be eating and drinking, much meat, much wine, which reminds me of Revelation 19, which talks about the marriage supper of the Lamb. And on this mountain, these are the words: there'll be the swallowing up of death forever and ever. And in 1 Corinthians 15, Paul uses those exact words: death will be swallowed up forever, and disgrace will be removed, and every tear wiped away, and they will trust him forever, and they will say, he has saved us. And so this picture we have here of a great celebration because of a victory that's about to take place is reflected in Isaiah. He saw ahead, he saw a great victory that was going to take place, that on the cross. And then he saw the marriage supper of the Lamb, which is the celebration of that victory. And he wrote that down. He said Moab will be trampled. We're hoping that Ulster will be trampled there below us. And so we're back from the stadium. I've left the shouting and the dancing and the singing in that stadium because it was a mighty, mighty victory for the Stormers. But we carry on with it here in the text. Chapter 26 is no less triumphant than chapter 25. In that day, what day is that? The day of the resurrection of the dead, the day of the return of Jesus. The song will be sung in the land of Judah. Open up the gates that the righteous may come in. And then the prophet Isaiah says, listen, you that keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Trust in the Lord forever. For the Lord himself is the rock eternal. Basically saying, between now and that great day, when the great city gates are open, when the lost are going to come in, when Jesus is going to wrap this up, you can trust in God in the interim. He's the rock. He's our salvation that carries us through. And then there's some amazing scriptures at verse 12, speaking about and singing about our life in the interim. Lord, you establish peace for us. All that we have accomplished, you have done for us. Everything we have, everything we do, everything is accomplished because of what he did. But this is now the crescendo, looking at that day of resurrection. But your dead will live, Lord. Their bodies will rise. Let those who dwell in the dust wake up and shout for joy. Your dew is like the dew of the morning, and the earth will give birth to her dead. Our expectation as Christians is not that we're going to die one day and sleep forever. No, that we're going to live eternally. Also, not as ghosts floating around the atmosphere, but that we are going to rise with resurrection bodies to live in a resurrected world, a new heaven and a new earth. That's the hope that's painted in the New Testament. And this is one of the very, very rare instances in the Old Testament which speaks explicitly into it. God bless you.